You have to excuse me for being late with today's video report, but today is without a doubt probably the single most difficult day of the entire college basketball season. Because on Friday you had so many late afternoon and late night games, you didn't have official lines to actually handicap from. Now, I've been doing this for long enough that I can certainly handicap all the games, and I can come within a point and a half of guesstimating what the lines are going to be on every single game. But would I bet those games based on what I think the lines are going to be? Absolutely not, because how many times have you lost a game by a single point? You just don't do that. And I certainly am not going to release a play until I see the official line. And plus, I want to wait that first 20 to 45 minutes to see where the public is going to perhaps move certain lines. So what happens is most of the lines is Saturday morning. They weren't released till about 10 o'clock, 10:45 Eastern time. You want to wait about 20-25 minutes. So every single guy here at the site is also waiting. And of course, I'm running the site. So you handicap the games, you're waiting for everybody else, and I'm the guy sitting behind at the end of the line waiting for everybody else, which puts me behind, which is why this video report is late. It's not a great card today, but listen, as I've said all week long, this is the most difficult time, the college conference tournaments. And this is from a guy who has made a fortune this college basketball season. Now, I started on Thursday, a good winner on Kansas State, a 15-dime best bet. Last night, 15-dime loser on Virginia. I'll tell you what, if you're Tony Bennett and a fan of the Virginia program, this system that he has is just not going to get you into the national championship discussion. He simply does not have the horses, the athletes, to win a national title. It's fine and dandy to keep saying Virginia's got this great defense. Virginia is #1 in the nation in scoring defense. Virginia is a top 5 team defensively when it comes to holding teams under 40% from the field. But they just do not have scorers. They just don't have guys that you can count on consistently when opposing teams jam up the middle, when opposing teams just bottle you up offensively. You saw it last year, you saw it again last night, and Florida State is not that good. That Virginia just can't get out of its own way when it comes to trying to score points. And the Cavaliers are just going to be one of those teams that's going to roll through the regular season, lose 2 or 3 games. They're going to get to the ACC tournament. They may win it. They may not. They're going to get to the big dance, and they're just going to be a dud. I never would have expected Virginia to do anything in the big dance, but I thought they could have at least advanced to the championship game. That's why I took them last night, and they disappointed me again. So we move forward today. Listen, the guys that had the big plays today, FYI, Shawn Michaels, who's going for hoop winner 5 out of 6 over the past couple of weeks, first ever 200-dime career basketball, college basketball play goes today. It's Utah State, San Diego State. You get it for over half price off. It's twice as strong as his winner last night on Oregon. Twice as strong as his Super Bowl winner on the Patriots, and twice as strong as those 100-dimers in the NFL, which he's on an 80 and 55 run over the past 8 years. You get it for over half price off by using the coupon code FIRSTEVER, which is 1STEVER all together. I probably should have used a simpler coupon code in retrospect. It probably would have been a wiser move. All the other discounts and coupon codes are over on the home page. Let's get to a couple of complimentary plays for you here as we move forward. In the SEC, I like Kentucky over Tennessee. These two met twice during the regular season. And the differentiating factor is whether or not for Kentucky, whether or not Reed Travis played. He returned to action yesterday, the senior forward for them, with after missing 5 games because of a leg injury, with a very impressive performance. 23 minutes, and he had 8.7 rebounds and tied a season high with 3 blocks in their 18-point win over Alabama. In the game that he played against Tennessee this season, Kentucky won by 17 at home on February 16th, 86-69. In the game that he did not play, on March 2nd, Tennessee won in Knoxville 71-52. It is true that this game is in Nashville, so naturally Tennessee is going to have a little more crowd support. However, I think Kentucky is the slightly better team at this point in the season. A Kentucky team that has won, I think, 16 of its last 18 games, and the only 2 losses were against Tennessee and a loss to LSU. In this particular spot, listen, I never thought Tennessee should have been the #1 team in the nation for those few weeks. I just have not been impressed by Tennessee all season long. I like Kentucky here. I'll be more than willing to lay the 1.5 points with them. FYI, if you happen to be watching this video report early, I know the game goes at 1 o'clock Eastern time. I like Auburn in the early SEC semifinal game against Florida. I think this is a prime letdown spot for the Gators here after upsetting LSU on revenge yesterday. I like the way that Auburn took care of business and against South Carolina. Auburn's bread and butter this season has been their 3-point shooting. I think they had 13 more 3-pointers yesterday, extending their SEC record for threes in a single season, increasing them to 368. Bruce Pearl's team, 6th straight win. They also got 6'11" center Austin Wiley back. A cameo performance, only 3 minutes yesterday, but he had missed 5 straight games. They won in the lone meeting this year against Florida, 76-62 back February 5th. That snapped the streak where Florida had won 11 straight and 21 out of 22 overall in that series. I have not been impressed by Florida at all this year. Florida ended the regular season with a 3-game losing streak. I think this is a prime letdown situation right here for the Gators. So I like Auburn in that game. Let me tell you, I like Auburn even more than I like Kentucky. But again, that game goes at, 1 o'clock Eastern time, and Auburn is a 3.5-point choice. A couple of other games here. Boy, Seton Hall and Villanova. There's a tough one for you. Villanova was, of course, my best bet last Sunday, right? Or last Saturday. Villanova, all they had to do was win at Seton Hall to claim the outright Big East regular season championship. And what happens? They lose the game outright. Seton Hall's coming off a 81-79 win over Marquette yesterday. It was a game marred by 57 fouls, 9 technicals, and 85 free throws. They did cruise over Georgetown on Thursday, 73-57. Miles Powell in that game had 29 of his 31 points in the first half. They did win last Saturday at home, 79-75. In that one, they built up a 16-point lead in the second half early after taking like a 12-point lead at halftime. They withstood a furious Villanova rally. Powell had 20 points in that one. And they won that game, even though they only shot like 39.7% from the field. Villanova's coming off a 71-67 win over Xavier last night, a game in which they had to erase a 7-point deficit with about 3 minutes to go in regulation to force overtime. They struggled when they beat Providence 73-62 in Thursday's opener. Nova, of course, the 2-time defending Big East tournament champions, seeking to become the first 3-time winner in the tournament in 3 successive years in the 40-year history of the tournament. They've won 13 of their last 15 tournament games. But Seton Hall, a team that started so strong this season, hit a lull, now is playing some great ball. I'll tell you what, I like Seton Hall plus the points in this one because Villanova has just been so wildly inconsistent all season long offensively. They have struggled here down the stretch when they haven't been playing at home. Granted, this is a neutral site game, but Seton Hall just seemingly has Villanova's number. And Powell is somebody who has been unstoppable when Villanova tries to guard him. Do I like Seton Hall as much as I like Auburn and Kentucky? No. So I would take Auburn, I would take Kentucky, and then I would take Seton Hall as your 3 selections today. That'll do it. Wish you well and talk to you again tomorrow.